and not stressing them out too much, thinking, oh God, I don't want to go to the hairdressers, they always take too much hair off. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel, thanks so much for being here. Today's video is going to be how to tackle when clients come in and they've got split ends, not taking too much off. One of the biggest questions when clients walk into the salon and they're thinking, oh my God, I don't want to lose too much length because of their split ends. I'm going to be showing you now how you can get away with only taking off minimal but still making the hair look really thick. So I'm using this mannequin as it is a client. We're going to be looking at these split ends. She's just been on holiday. She's been in Ibiza sun. She's been in the pool. She's been in the sea. She's been at pool parties. And then she's come back and she's got these tapered out split ends on the end of her hair. And when we're looking at things and we're thinking, oh look, that needs to come up to there to create a nice blunt edge. But then if we were to look at spinning this around, let me just show you. If we were to take that off and then try and even it up at the back, we'd be losing all of this. Well, we don't really have to, because what we're looking at probably around about there to give her a nice sort of blunt line. Still keep a little bit of taper. I'm one of these hairdressers that really likes a bit of taper into the hair. I think it makes it look really natural. So when it comes to the split ends, because we're going to be pulling this back, we're going to maintain the length at the front. So over directing the hair over the shoulders, making sure that we are keeping that length at the front, and it will give us a way of taking off what we need to through this back and then just curving up slightly, or not even taking anything off of these sides at the beginning, because once we've taken off through this middle piece, what we could then do is throw the hair over the shoulder and just even it up. So I'm going to show you today what we're going to do for your clients to take off minimal when they're either growing their hair or they don't want to lose any length. So what we're going to start with today is we're going to start on this back section. I'm going to show you what we're going to do. So we're going to start dry, and we are just going to come through this middle piece and just take off that through there. How much better does that look? So putting in that blunt edge, once it's dry, we're not sort of guessing, because when it's wet, it's all going to look really thinner, because it's like spaghetti. It's like all sort of singular. So when it's wet, you'd be looking at it thinking, oh, we need to go a bit higher because the hair's tapered out more because of it's in separate strands. But when we get their hair dry and they want to lose minimal length, we could just start here, and then we can just be nipping off the bare minimum at the beginning, just to put in a nice blunt edge, because then we're not going to take too much off. And you can see here on the corner, if we just come back around here, we're going to wet this down as well, and we're going to go section by section, but that's going to give us a good line to work with. You can see there, we're not touching any of this corner just yet. And the same again on this side. So just make sure that is nice and level. And then again, bit gappy here, but all I'm going to do is take off that bare minimum on these corners, because where we want to work so far is that nice blunt edge through there, and you can see how much thicker that hair actually looks. So when we're looking at what we had to what we have now, we've got a much stronger edge through there. And if we were looking at this, at the edges through this front, through here, we'd be thinking, right, we've got to take off that. So you'd have been coming up, probably taking another inch off. And for a client who wants to grow their hair, they wouldn't really be happy if we were thinking, right, we're going to take this up to here, throw it back, put in a nice straight line. They would lose so much more hair than they actually need to. So what we're just going to do here roughly is just nibble off these edges and then just match up through there. Give us a bit more of a blunt line through there. And then again on the other side, we can see our guide there. So we're just going to, just freehand, just come through and just even that up through there. It's already given us a much stronger silhouette to the haircut. Now, when we throw it to the front, her hair is still nice and long. Again, still nice and long. A little bit wispy, but if you bring that up there, That's a much stronger line than we had at the beginning. So, again, we're just going to follow that line through there and down, and just taking off the bare minimum, putting in a nice blunt line, because it's going to make the hair look thicker, stronger and healthier through there. Already looks so much better through there. And then we're just going to kiss that over the shoulder and then just follow that around here. So you can already see how much stronger that looks. You've got a nice like blunt line there. Yes, the hair tapers out, but all natural hair tapers out. This is the thing, when it comes to it, you don't, I mean, I'm not a big fan of the hair just looking really sort of blunt, and I think it looks a little bit fake. It could look like you've got extensions or anything like that. I really love the tapering hair, where you've got all this fullness. Yes, it looks really healthy and looks really full on the edge, but you've got a real nice taper to it. And that's what I want there. So that is us prepping for our haircut. We've taken off the bare minimum. We've given us a nice blunt edge already. I'm then going to go through, we're going to wet it down, get it shampooed, conditioned, and then we're going to section through and just take off, putting in a nice blunt line, get it blow dried, and we'll just freshen up these shaggy layers. So this is all wet down, all nicely shampooed and conditioned. And you can see what I was talking about at the beginning. It looks thinner because it's more together. It's like spaghetti because the hair's wet and it looks thinner. So what we're going to do now, just spin her around. And I'm just going to do a central parting through the back. And I'm just going to go from the occipital bone, drop that down. Occipital bone, drop that down. And it gives us this bit of hair here. And what we're going to do is a normal one length haircut. So you can see there's little gaps in there. If you can see on my hand, see if I can show you. It's just take it up to that point where the gaps finish, because we know that's going to give us a really nice blunt edge. Again, section up, drop down, section, drop down, just kick those over the shoulder, and then you'll see that the layers that are in there are going to be falling to exactly where we trimmed once it was dry. And it's just putting in a really nice blunt edge on this haircut. It's just going to look so much stronger. Again, I think we can drop down there. So that was in 3 sections because we already prepped that hair when it was dry. Again. There we go. We've got a real nice strong edge there. Just bringing these front sections back. See if they reach, and then we're just going to curve up slightly so we can take off where it gets a little bit soft, a little bit tapered out too much, and then we're putting in a nice strong line. You'll see here, let's just turn her to here, bring this all back. And this is one thing when to talk to clients, consulting them, if they don't want it to taper up and around, then it's just going to be a conversation to have. Okay, it's still going to look a little bit sparse at the front, but it's over directed back, so we're going to be maintaining a bit more length than they actually think as well. So just going to take off that there, nice blunt edge there, and then just throw that over there. And we've got a real nice blunt edge all through that haircut. So 3 sections and 1 section through the sides, because all we were doing was maintaining the length. To refresh the layers that are working through the hair. If this is one of your original clients, you'll know exactly how you layered their hair. If it's a new client coming to you, the easiest way to see if it's just refreshing, if we're putting in a different layer, we'd be probably putting in a different sectioning pattern. But because we're maintaining, which is probably one of the most sought after sort of things in our job, people want to maintain their length, they want to maintain their sort of layer or shape. then we can just bring the hair out and just see where it's coming from. So there's a lot of length up there, so there's not that much layer. So I'm just going to drop that down to maintain the bulk and the density down the bottom. And then when we come up here, you can just see they're sort of stringy bits. So all I'm going to do is just take those off and let the hair drop down. And because we elevated and we've got a 45-degree angle, they're going to be really nice and soft and blend in. So we'll go through here again. And I'm just going to bring it back to that middle point. So we're over directing all back. I don't want to be putting in new layers. I just want to be maintaining where the layers are existing. So again, I can see my guide there. The hair's just dropping out. And we're still taking some off. And if I was working around here, around the head, you could see I'd be taking off quite a fair bit. And this client doesn't want that. So I'm over directing back to the middle, just so I'll be taking off dust. And there we go again. Dust. And that is just on the side of the head. And we don't really want to be putting any layers in this front because they want their hair to be nice and thick through the front. So again, let's over direct it back to that middle point. And we'll see if there's any, and there's just a tiny bit of dust there that we're taking off. And that's just maintaining the layer throughout the haircut. And again, we're going to go over to the other side. And I'll come here so you can see. Just going to be dragging it all back, finding that guide that we put in, which is there. And then there's some length pieces there. You can see. And let's just take those off to refresh. Again, section straight down there. We're going to pull back to the middle point, our first cut. I'm going to be taking that off, just there. And then again, when we get to further around this front, we're going to be taking off dust. But don't forget, that is maintaining this haircut and layers. If this is a thing that clients don't want to lose length, they don't want to lose thickness, this is a real simple way of maintaining their shape and not stressing them out too much, thinking, oh God, I don't want to go to the hairdressers, they always take too much hair off. You can tell them once it's dry, look, that's what I've taken off. When I go into it wet, I'm just going to give you that stronger edge. That's it. And that's it. That's the haircut. We're going to get it dry, and then you'll be able to see the end result. So there it is, guys. That is just a really nice, easy maintaining of the length, taking off the split ends. You can see how blunt that edge is all now. So there's still a slight little taper, but that's what I love. And then just putting in that blunt edge, you can see the hair looks so much thicker. So that is a really nice, easy way to maintain your client's hair if they are growing it, if they just want to remove the split ends, if they want to take off that bit of dead hair that we as hairdressers, we see. We see it, and clients are like, oh, I just want to trim, whereas we could potentially, on some people, take off that much. But today we took off what was needed, really simply, kept the length as long as possible for the client, and then your client would walk out happy knowing they've kept all of that length. And then around the front, they've kept all of that length there as well, through there. So you can see, just nice, it's got a real nice blunt line through there, the fringe. But yeah, let's bring that to the front. You can see there, just a real nice blunt edge also. So if you've enjoyed the video, please let me know in the comments down below. If you are new, hit the subscribe button, give it a thumbs up, and then I'll see you on the next video. Thank you so much.